I'm Patrick Bailey with IQList.com. Today is December 31st, 2018, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a 20-sided dice in Fusion 360. Okay, to do this in Fusion 360, you need to actually do a little research on your geometry and do a little math. So a 20-sided dice is actually called an icosahedron. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And here's the Wikipedia page. I'll put it in the show notes, or you can just go look it up yourself. Now there's several different types of icosahedron, but we're looking for a regular icosahedron. And what that is every single triangle is an equilateral triangle where every edge is the same. And so that matters. Now it turns out there's an easy way to help you do this in Fusion 360. It turns out if you look at this picture here, and I got a link over here, open it up. Every single vertex is shared by 5 other rectangles here. You can see this right here. So in all, we have 20-sided dice, which means 20 times, every triangle has 3 edges. 20 times 3 is 60. So you have 60 edges. However, each edge is shared by 5 other triangles. So you divide that by 5. So you have 12. So there's 12 points you need to find in space to define this. Well, it turns out you can actually define this with 3 rectangles. Every rectangle has 4 points. 4 times 3 is 12. There's those 12 points. And so here they are. And so they just have to be, what are they, perpendicular to each other? There's a word they use. Circular. Orthogonal, there you go. Orthogonal golden rectangles. So they all have 90 degrees to each other, and they have to be set up in this format. And now every single one of these triangles is the same exact size. So that's the easy part. And so what you need to do is you figure out how big you want to make it. In my case, I'm going to make an edge right here. This edge, I'll make it, let me link it. This edge right here, I'm going to make it 30 millimeters. Now, knowing that, what's the size of this other edge on the rectangle? And if you do some research in here, it turns out it's based on the golden ratio. And so if that side is 1, the side up here is 1 plus the square root of 5 divided by 2. So whatever you have over here, you have to multiply that. So I'm going to do 30. 30 times 1 plus the square root of 5 divided by 2. And the nice thing is we can actually do that in Fusion 360. So you can actually do some math in there pretty easily. The important thing is you know that you have to do these rectangles in a certain orientation, and you have to know this golden ratio. So with that, let's get to creating it. Okay, now let's get to creating it. So I will right click here on one of the planes, create a sketch, and I need to make my triangle. So I can hit S, and I want the center rectangle. I happen to have it on my shortcuts, otherwise you could type in center, you probably just type in rectangle. Rectangle, center rectangle. Click on the very center here, and then here I want the edge needs to be 30, so I'll type in 30. And then here I need to use the golden ratio. So I say 30 multiplied by 1 plus 5. That needs to be a square root of 5, but I'll fix that in a second. Divided by 2. Now to get to the square root of 5, you can go to the power of 1 divided by 2, which is the equivalent of square root. You hit the enter, and it'll do the calculation for you. So it happens to be 48.541. And so I could just type it in next time. I like doing the equation just so I can get it consistent. So hit stop sketch, and then I'll do it in this plane. Hit create sketch, and then do the same thing. But this time make it this way. Let's see. Edge of 30 on that side, and then 30 times 1 plus 5 divided by 2. And to the 1/2. 48.541 again. Hit stop sketch. So I got 2 of them. And then make the last one here. So I'll say, click on that, say, what am I going to do? Create sketch. There we go. Hit S. And there we go. 30 and 30 times 1 plus 5 divided by 2. And here we go to the 1/2, which is the square root. Boom. And hit stop sketch. And so there's all rectangles exactly like was shown there. So now we need to connect them up. So this needs to connect. So like this point needs to connect to this point. And so at this point, this is where things can get a little funny. If I try to draw a line, see I can hit the L key here, And I can click on here and choose this point, start to draw the line, and I'm drawing this plane, which is what I don't want to do. I can click here and say, you know, I want to connect it there, but it's actually not going to connect there because it's not going to go out of the plane it's currently in. So I'll hit escape, I'll stop this sketch. Reason that's occurring is there's a little feature you need to turn on. So here I go up here to Preferences and Design. I need to allow 3D sketching of lines and splines. Click that, hit Apply, hit OK. Now that should work. So again, I'll hit the L key, and I'll hit that, click right there, and now, see, it snaps right in there. And now as it snaps in, what you want to check right here is the distance. You can see it's actually showing the distance of 30 millimeters. That's how long that line's going to be, and so that matches our edge for an equilateral triangle, so perfect. So I'll just click and hit Enter, and then do the same thing up here. And now on occasion, it doesn't really respect this edge here, so sometimes I have to redraw it for some reason, but that one seemed to be okay. Click here, and then go down to there, click here, there. So there's 2 out of 20. So now, let me see, here is this edge, 30, and I gotta start moving this around. This is where it gets hard. It takes a little while. I have to keep moving it around so I can see things. I wish there was a better way to do this. Maybe there is, and if someone knows a better way, pipe up, post a message, and I'll do another video because this seems a little tedious. So there's 5, and you can kind of see there's one part. Now you have to go around and do them all, and it takes a while, and you got to keep spinning around and make sure you actually have them all. It is just kind of tedious. I wish there was a better way. But you just kind of turn and see what. Make sure you get that 30. There we go, 30. Okay, I think I've got it all. So let me try it again. So here I am. I can hit my little mouse. I can hit this button in the center to drag things around. But also I can do that and hit the Shift key, Control key. Shift, there you go, Shift key in that, and then I can spin it around here rather than using that. And I think I got them all. It's a good idea to check, your left, your front, your top. I think I am good. So I've got that done. But at this point, all I have is faces. So this is actually not a 3D object. So it's just, if I try to do a 3D print, it doesn't know what to do. It just sees all these faces. So we need to actually make this 3-dimensional. So next I'll go over that. Okay, there are a couple of ways to do this, and this is one method I came up with. Since all these points are an equal distance away from the center, we actually can draw a circle around the whole thing, perfectly encasing it. So it's actually bigger than the object, but all the points on this icosahedron are actually points on the sphere. So what I can do is I can go here. Let's see if I can do this well. So I will edit this sketch. Yeah, because right there should be one. And so what I can do, I can go here and do an arc, a center point arc. So I'll hit that, and I will go all the way up to the top. Hit that, and go all the way to the bottom. There we go. And then I'll hit L for my line key, come down and do that. And now I've got this shape, and then I will rotate this shape around. So I will stop the sketch. I will remove the other sketches for a second. And I will select all of that. Hit S and search for revolve, I think. Yeah, revolve. And choose that. Select the axes, which I will select this axis. 360 degrees, new body. Okay. Boom. And so that's perfectly encasing everything. And so now I need to subtract the unwanted parts. So I can click on here, bring all that back. Click on the body, which will temporarily remove the body, so I don't have to see it. And then I can just start to choose a face. So let me choose this face. And I'll press Q for my press pull tool. And then I will click on this to bring the body back, and I will bring this up, which will, the default will choose to cut it. So I'll say cut it like that. And I do technically have a problem, but I'll show that in a second. So if I just do a simple cut, that seems to work. But if I choose, if I choose the next one over, there we go. Choose that one. Q, press pull tool, bring the body back. There we go. Do the same thing, hit cut. It almost seems to work, but what I have is, because they're going straight up, I end up with this little goober in the middle, in between every single one of them. We can fix that. So I can go back here and edit these press pulls, and one thing I can do is actually go out. Technically what I could have done is I could have made a bigger plane there, because I need to cut off that entire plane, but I found that 61 degrees going out turns out to be enough to do it, so I'm just doing it that way. So I hit 61 degrees, hit OK. Edit this feature, say 61 degrees, hit OK. And now we can see they're perfectly cut. So I'm going to go through and do every single side like that real quickly. So I'll remove the body, choose a side, Q, press pull, bring the body back, and do 61 degrees. So I'll just go through and do all those now. Okay, and there we go. So now I've got it. So now I have an object that I can actually 3D print. So I can sit here, click on that, select this body. I don't want to go to next mixture. Yeah. I will just first bring that up. Oh, there's a little octopus we were working on the other day. Okay, and if I drop that in, I should see that I do have one, but I do have a little problem. You can see that I'm angled up, so I do need to shift this whole thing over slightly so that it'll lay on the bed correctly. So I could do that in here. It turns out it actually is 20.9 degrees roughly. So if I do 21, oh, not there. If I do 21, not there. Okay, if I can type 21, it would lay on the bed flat and work. But I don't like to do it that way. I like to actually have it in a printable format. Shouldn't say printable format, but an easy print. So that sign's fine. If I go to the front here. Now, if you want to know how far to go over, I can go over here and say, let's see. Oh, move the body. And so I'll go back and right click on this and say edit sketch. And what I want to do is draw a line that should actually be down here to here so that I can get that angle. So I'll go here, hit the L key, start from here. Now from here to here should be my golden ratio divided by 2. So I can say 30 times 1 plus 5 divided by 2 and have that 5 to the 1/2 power to square root, and then take all of that and divide it by 2. There's my line. And then I take another line from here to here. And so that's the exact angle that I am up off the table. So I take another line, draw it like here, just for convenience. And I hit the S key and I can do a center point arc. click that right there, click up any point on this line, and then go up here to click here. And I'll hit this line. As I hit the line, you see 20.9 degrees. So I need to move this whole thing 20.9 degrees over. That's an easy way to get the calculation. Otherwise, you can do a bunch of math, which is not too hard, some arc tangents and whatnot, to actually figure out the angle. And it's actually not 20.9, it's 20.9, you know, it goes out several places, but 20.9. But also, if you do the math that way, you won't be exactly what this is. So this drawing is not actually super precise. It goes out several digits, but this is actually what the drawing really is. So there we are, 20.9. I'll undo everything I did because I don't need it. Hit stop sketch. I'll go back in my history. And then what I will do here, I don't think I need that. What I'll do here is I will bring back my body, select the whole thing. I don't need my sketches. Let me unselect my sketches. Okay, this is where it starts to get slowed, bogged down a little bit because there's a lot going on. Okay, so there we go. So now we just select the body, hit S, hit move, type in move, use the move tool, and here I'll rotate it. Choose the rotate, and I need to select an axis, and I need to, where are we? I need to rotate it this way, so I need, there we go, the x-axis, right there. And we're going to rotate it 20.9 degrees. And we'll look at that and see if that got us flattened out. And it looks like it did, so I'll hit OK. And so now we should be good. So now let me make this into another 3D print just to test it. So, just like that, hit OK. And I'll call it second. We'll delete that. And I will drop in the second one here. And so now we can see, we should be able to see that I have a triangle on the bottom. And so perfect. So now if I say generate, I should see a nice triangle on that first layer. Ah, there we go. Perfect. So now that I have the basic shape that I want, now, you know, if it's a 20-sided dice, I want to put some numbers in there. Or really, you can put anything you want in there. You're not limited to numbers. So let me go over here and actually start creating sketches on each face to actually put my number in. So I'll click on this, and I'll right click and say create a sketch. You got to pay a little attention here because it can get a little daunting. Hit the S key and then search for the text. I happen to have it on my shortcut, so hit that. And here you got to be a little careful because you don't, well, let me undo, unselect all the sketches. You don't want to see those at all because you might have a danger of it actually snapping to some other back grid. You don't want that. So I'll say 20, and let's try impact. Okay, what are you doing to me? Ah, well I do need to see a sketch, right? There we go, I need to see this sketch. There we go. Helps to see a sketch, right? So I will make that maybe a little bigger. Yeah, probably too big. Now try to get this angle here, try to position it there as best I can, and then hit OK. And now I can fix it after the fact. So I can go down here and click this line, and I want this line to be parallel with that line. I can hit the parallel key and hit that, and it makes it parallel. And now I can move it, it'll stay parallel, and so that's good. Get it kind of in the center as best I can, and I'll call it good. And I'll stop that sketch. Now, in reality, I could at this point do a press pull, but I think it's a little better to actually do them all, put all the fonts on there, get all the fonts on first, or whatever you're going to do on the faces first, do all the sketches, and then do the press pull, because it starts to get a little bogged down. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. I'll sit here and create sketches on every single one. Okay, now if I did that right, I should have everything on there but the number 1, and that was kind of on purpose. So if I sit here and kind of look around here, I look like I got a lot of numbers. Oh, 6 and 9. Ooh, that should be an 6 and 9 would be a little hard to distinguish, huh, the way I did it. So let me do, hit the S key here and do a 2-pointed rectangle. No. Let me just do several lines here. There we go. And make that parallel with that. There we go. There's a 6. And let me fix that 9. Okay, good. Okay, so everything but the bottom. I did that on purpose because I don't want to put the number 1 on there. I want to put my little Iqula symbol on there. Let me create a sketch here. And let me go grab this mark I've made over here. Another thing. Copy that and paste it. Boom. Let's see. Stop. Okay, let me get this resized. Okay, let me try this again. So I should have all the numbers on there except for, in fact, I had to go back and add 4. I have everything except for 1. And I have that on the bottom intentionally because I like to put my symbol there and not just a number. So I'll right click on this bottom one, create a sketch, and I'll go over here where I actually have a mark sketched up in another file, copy all of that, and paste it in. Now I'll kind of center it there as best I can. Oops. Okay, let me go figure that out. Okay, that was a lot of fun and weird. So I'm still trying to get my maker's mark on there, my Iqulus mark, but what happened, I just had to reboot the whole thing because the tools I was using should have worked, but I had to restart Fusion 360. Too much information. I don't know what happened. There's a bug in there. So let me go start this over again. So I am on here. I am already in this sketch. So let me stop this sketch. So I'm sketching the last one. Edit sketch on the bottom. Go over here. I got my little mark, which I just did 2 seconds ago. So I'm going to be a little upset if it breaks again. Paste it in here. Start to move it. Rotate it 90 degrees. Kind of get it where I want in the center there. Hit OK. And then I'm going to want to select it all. Boom. No, but I don't want this. Let me deselect. Don't need that. There we go. And got it turned around there. Hit S, search for scale, hit scale. And there we go. So now, oh look, so now it works. Don't know why it wasn't working before. Actually, let me select that center there. There we go. Hit OK. In fact, I think I want to move it a little bit. I don't know. Stop sketch. Edit sketch. No. Let me go back a few steps here. Okay, let me paste this in again. rotate it. I'm going to get that center of the cue pretty much center there as best I can. Okay, hit OK. Select all that. And deselect that. Don't want that line. There we go. Now scale. Select that center point. Then we can scale. Ah, there we go. Good. I don't know why it didn't work before. Ugh, I guess just bugs. Bugs. Okay. Now I've got everything on there, so now I want to press pull, but I got to do them one at a time. So here I'll start with this one because he's the oddball, and so I will select everything. There we go. Press Q. I'll say 2 millimeters, and I'll do a cut. Oh, negative 2 millimeters because I'm going down. And hit OK. And there I go. I got my first cut. So now I got to do that with everything else. So let me. It's going to take a while. Q. Negative 2. Cut. OK. Okay, I think I got it all. So it's a little long process, but let me go make this into a 3D print and go print it out. Okay, done. Done. Let's try that one out. Cool. That was kind of cool. And I guess I can resize it, but that's probably a pretty big, chunky size there. I'll do 0.2 millimeters and generate. And there we go. So let me go print it out. Okay, so it is printed out, and it looks kind of cool. But first, let me always go over the numbers here. So this took 2 hours and 21 minutes to print. It took 2.2 cents with electricity, and it weighs 0.024 kilograms, so at $20 a kilogram roughly, that's 48 cents of material. So altogether, about 50 cents to print this out. And it's pretty cool. It got all the numbers on there pretty well. Even got my little symbol there on the bottom, so it all, oh, there we go. So it's kind of a good fiddle size. So I'm pretty happy with this. Now, for the geeks out there, I used to play a game called Magic the Gathering, which we use 20-sided dice a lot to represent your life total. And if I still played that, and on rare occasion I do, I'd use this. It's kind of novelty. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't use it as a regular dice because it's loaded. So this is not perfectly balanced. I fiddle with it a little bit. It works okay if you want to do it for fun, but if you were doing something really serious, this is not perfectly balanced. But random enough. But anyway, really cool. Had a lot of fun doing it. I think it works. It's good in Fusion 360. I think there might be a better tool to do this in, because the way I made the icosahedron in there was a little complicated where I had to sphere and remove parts. Maybe there's a way, maybe there's a better way to do it in Fusion 360, but I think there might be a better tool out there. Like, I'm tempted to go do this in OpenSCAD, which will take a lot of math to get it done right, but it might be able to do a better job. But smoother job getting it done. I had some errors and issues when I was doing this in Fusion 360, but my results are good, so I'm pretty happy. Anyway, that's how you make a 20-sided dice in Fusion 360 and 3D print it out.
Hey, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, hey, give it a thumbs down. Also, if you like what we were doing here, subscribe to the channel by clicking the subscribe button. And lastly, have a piece of info to share? Just post a comment.